Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 6 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 6 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter operations with integer, and the lessons we're going to cover today are add and subtract integers, find the sign, multiply integer, find the sign, divide integers, find the sign, add and subtract integers, input output tables. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Okay, here I am on the chapter operations with integers. Let's just start with the lesson, that is add and subtract integers, find the sign. Is 4 take away 3 positive or negative? So you have to see if you subtract 4 out of 3, the answer is positive or negative, right? So you are subtracting a smaller number out of the greater one, right? 4 is greater, 3 is smaller. So when you are subtracting smaller number out of the greater one, the answer is always the positive, right? So 4 take away 3 is 1. The correct option is 1, that is positive, right? Just look at the other example. You have, is 32 minus 32 negative 3 positive or negative, right? So you are 32 is a negative number, right? You are subtracting 3, that is smaller, right? So you are subtracting a negative number, the greater number is also negative, right? So the result is even more less, that means then that is negative, right? Or you can say 32 is a greater number that has the negative sign. Answer must be negative, right? Let's just start with the test questions. You can have a look on the tutorial by yourself later today. They are already solved. So the first one is 1 minus negative 5 positive or negative? So you are subtracting a negative number, right? And subtracting the negative number is same as adding. So the answer is positive. Option number 1 is the correct option. Positive it is. Is negative 3 negative 9 positive or negative? Nine is a greater number with a negative sign, right? So when the greater number has a negative sign, answer must be negative. The correct option is negative. Option number 2 is the correct option. 9 is a greater number with a negative sign, so answer must be negative. Is negative 26 plus 64 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? So negative 26 plus 64, right? 64 is the greater number with a positive sign, right? That means answer must be positive. Option number 1 is the correct option because 64 is greater number with positive sign, so answer must be positive. For which question? That's option 2. And why? Okay, the next one is negative 32 minus negative 37 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? So 32 is the greater number, right? And that has a negative sign. So answer must be negative, right? The greater number has the negative sign. So answer must be negative. Option number 2 is the correct option. Got it? Okay, the next one is 3 plus negative 7 positive or negative? So basically, when adding or subtracting, look at the sign of the greater number, right? 3 plus negative 7. 7 is the greater number, right? And the greater number with a negative sign. So then that means answer must be negative. So you have to look at the sign of the greater number. So answer greater number is negative, answer is negative. The correct option is negative. Is 21 plus 5 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? Both the numbers are positive. Answer must be positive. The correct option is positive. Option number 1 is the correct option. Is negative 7 plus negative 82 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? 82 is the greater number with a negative sign, right? Answer is also negative, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. Okay, the next one is multiply integers, find the sign. Is 8 times negative 7 positive or negative? If one of the number is negative, the product is negative, right? So for this example, you have 8 times negative 7. So one of the number is negative. That means answer must be negative, right? This is the very easiest rule for the multiplication of the integers. If one of the number is negative, the product is negative. So keep this thing in your mind. So 7 is negative, the product is negative, right? Just look at the next example, that is 6 times negative 1 positive or negative. So which is the correct option? So one of the number is negative, one is negative, right? So answer must be negative. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Is 8 times negative 7 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? Eight times negative 7, right? So one of the number is negative. The answer must be negative, right? Option number 2 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is 12 times 3 positive or negative? So which is the correct option? So no negative number here, right? Then product is also positive. Both the numbers are positive. The product is positive. Option number 1 is the correct option. Is 5 times negative 10 positive or negative? Yes, one of the number is negative. The answer is negative. Very good. The correct option is negative. Option number 2 is the correct option. Is negative 4 times 1 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? That is, one of the number is negative. The answer is also negative. Option number 1, 2 is the correct option, right? The next one is 6 times negative 1 positive or negative? The correct option is negative. 6 times negative 1 is positive or negative? Negative it is. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is negative. Is 12 times negative 3 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? Yes, one of the number is negative, so answer is negative. Is 5 times negative 8 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? Negative it is, right? Because one of the number is negative. Answer must be negative. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson, right? Let's just move on to the next lesson. I think that is divide integers and find the sign. Yes, that is divide integers, find the sign. So to divide the integers, you have exactly the same rules like multiplication. If one of the number is negative, the answer is negative, right? Either this is divisor or dividend. If divisor is negative, the answer is negative. If dividend is negative, like if one of them is negative, the answer is negative. Just look at the first example, that is 30 divided by 3, positive or negative. Okay, let's just start with the test questions. Okay, is 108 divided by 12 positive or negative? So which is the correct option? Positive it is, right? Because both divisor and dividend are positive. So answer must be positive. Both the numbers are positive, so answer is positive. Is 99 divided by negative 11 positive or negative? Negative it is, right? One of the number is negative. The answer is negative. Either this is divisor or dividend. One of the number is negative. That means the answer is negative. Okay, the next one is negative 90 divided by negative 9 positive or negative? So both divisor and dividend are negative. When both of them is negative, the answer is positive. For only in Only one of them is negative, so answer is negative. So both of them have same sign. The answer is positive because they can cancel each other, right? The signs can cancel each other. Is 12 divided by 3 positive or negative? Both of them are positive. Answer must be positive. Very good. Is 30 divided by 3 positive or negative? Positive it is, right? Because both the numbers are positive. Answer must be positive, right? Is 28 divided by negative 7 positive or negative? Which is the correct option? One of the number is negative. Answer is negative. Option number 1 is the correct option. Sorry, negative. I selected the wrong option actually. Okay, the next one is 10 divided by 2 positive or negative? Positive, right? Because both the numbers are positive. Answer is positive. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is add and subtract integers input output tables. Let's just start with the lesson. So figure out the rule to complete the table. You have to find a rule and then you have to complete the table. How do you find a rule? You can find a rule just by you have to find a relationship between the given values, right? The input output values are given. You can find a relationship between them and you can find the rule. For example, just look at the first two rows. You are given first two rows. Negative 17, negative 20, 0, negative 3, right? So input is 0 and output is negative 3. That means what number is subtracted from input? Definitely it is 0 minus 3 that equals negative 3, right? If you look at the first one, negative 17 and minus 3, collectively they make negative 20. That means the rule is you have to take away 3 from each value, right? Now you have this one is missing. Just do 1 minus 3. 1 minus 3 is negative 2. So this value is then negative 2. Got it? Okay, let's just start with the test question. We'll see how do we find the relationship, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, so that is what is the rule for this table? The first thing is you need to find a rule, right? Let's just see how do we find. So basically, you need to find a relationship between the input and the output values, right? So just look at this value. Negative 19, negative 16. Just look at the pair of input output values, negative 19 and negative 10. Negative 16 and negative 9. So negative 19 plus what number equals negative 10, which is the correct option. So negative 19 plus 9 equals negative 10, right? Just look at the second one. Negative 16 plus 9 equals negative 7. You have to subtract and put the sign of the greater number. Negative 14 plus 9, that is negative 5. So that means the rule is add 10, add 9, sorry. You have to add 9. The correct option is add 9. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is what is the rule for this table? So, which is the correct option? You have to find a rule, right? How do we find the relationship between value, right? Negative 16 plus what number makes negative 18? That is, you have to add negative 16 minus 2. Negative 2 and negative 2 makes negative 18, right? You have to, yes, you have to subtract 2. The correct option is you have to subtract 2. Option number 3 is the 4 is the correct option. Okay, the next one is which is the rule for this table? Negative 6, negative 10, negative 1, negative 11. So you have to, which is the correct option? Negative 6, negative 6, negative 10. When you solve them, they make negative 16. Negative 1, negative 10. That makes negative 11. So which is the correct option? The correct option is okay. So that means the correct option is subtract 10. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which is the rule for this table? So which is the correct option? Negative 19. Which is the correct option? That is option number 1 is the correct option. Negative 19 and negative, you have to add 4. Negative 19 plus 4 makes negative 15. Option number 1 is the correct option. You have to add 4. Don't think, solve, and then you can answer, right? This is math you can't do by thinking. Figure out the rule to complete the table. So, which is the correct option? You need to find the rule and you need to find the missing number here, right? So, negative 2 and what number makes negative 10? Negative 2, negative 8 makes negative 10, right? 1 minus 8 makes negative 7. So that means for this one you have to do negative 2, negative 8. That means negative 16. So the missing value is negative 16. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is the missing value. The missing value is negative 16. Option number 2 is the correct option. The next one is which is the rule for this table? Which is the correct option? That is subtract 8. You have to add 8, sorry. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? Figure out the rule to complete the table. So, which is the correct option? You need to complete the table. Negative 12 and 0. Negative 7 and 5. Negative 3 and 9. So, which number is missing? That is option number 1. 2 it is. Option number 1 is the correct option. What is the rule for this table? Which is the correct option? That is, you have to subtract 12. Option number 1 is the correct option. Figure out the rule to complete the table. So, which you need to complete the table. So, which is the correct option? Which value is missing? The missing value is that is 12. The correct option is 12. 13 it is. Yes, 13 it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 6 math. The chapter we were working on is operations with integers. And the lessons we have covered today are add and subtract integers, find the sign, multiply integers, find the sign, divide integers, find the sign, add and subtract integers, input-output tables. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session, right? So if you need more help at any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So if you have any, you can please ask, write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. Any questions, you can please ask if you have any. Any questions? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session. Bye, everyone.